Hello and welcome back to the Carweekpodcast. It is episode 12, and as always, we're starting with motorsport.
Yeah, the Formula One done another double header, and this time they took to Austin for the USA Grand Prix at the Circuit of Americas. To be fair, it's one of the personal favourites of mine. I don't know why, just something about the track and just everything. I quite like the US Grand Prix. I have to say, this year's a bit of an underwhelming one. Not a few things happened, but not a lot. I think we've been spoilt with our last 5 races after the summer break, so I think we're sort of due a couple not so good ones yet. But to start off in FP1, teams were testing out the new 2020 tyres from Pirelli. And from what the feedback I've heard, I don't think the teams are too happy about the tyres. I don't know what they've said, but apparently this just they're not keen on the new tyres at the moment. So I'm sure Pirelli will be back in the factories, in the office, and sorting that out. But into FP1, there weren't a lot that happened, like I say. Carlos Sainz was the only person that I really noted down. All he did was spin in FP1. Just didn't even clip the barriers, just spun. Wasted a set of tyres, but Carl was okay, so he could carry on. Oh, and then his teammate, Lando Norris. Just a bit of a funny one. He's driving down the track. He wasn't on a fast lap or anything. He was just either on an out lap or a slow down lap. His headrest came loose. So the whole bit around his head like just jumped up. And he's like, guys, the headrest has come loose.
It's a bit worrying.
If you see the onboard video, you just barely see Lando Norris sat in there. It's just the headrest is all surrounded him. You're like, oh, okay. Again, FP2. Not a lot happened, apart from our good old pal Romain Grosjean deciding to crash in the S's. So Grosjean doing Grosjean things. I'm sure we'll see on the Drive to Survive, Gunther Steiner again, saying some lovely words about his drivers.
Lovely words.
Yeah. FP3, the only other thing to note from FP3, Charles Leclerc went out to do some laps, only just got out of the garage and then he had to stop with engine issues, so he got no running in FP3. So I don't think Ferrari even came out with what happened, but or at least I didn't see what happened. But he just had some engine issues, so therefore he couldn't do any FP3. Quali, what I thought was quite sick in Q1, Lando Norris topping the time sheets. I thought that was quite fun to see for a midfield team, even though it wasn't where it counted in Q3, but good to see them up there with the pace and everything.
I loved his post where it's like Q1, P1, that's what matters.
That's all that matters, isn't it? Yeah. But the top 3 in Q3 were all split by 1/10 of a second.
Yeah.
So Bottas on pole, with Vettel second, Verstappen third, all split by 1/10. It was quite an entertaining qualifying session, to be fair. So yeah, that brings us on to the race. In this race, all Hamilton had to do was score 4 points in a Mercedes. That does not sound like the hardest task in the world, really. The only hard bit was he was starting in P5, which is obviously quite a low-down place for Lewis Hamilton to be. But I think when I get to it, he didn't worry about it too much. Because on the first lap, he gained, I think, 4 positions, was up into P3 at the end of the first lap. So he knew what he needed to do and knew where he needed to be. So he was A-OK.
Yeah. But
continuing on with the first lap, coming around after the first turn, we had a bit of contact between Alex Albon and Carlos Sainz. I watched the video. It was one of the Ferraris came drifting over. I think it was Albon was on the outside of the Ferrari, and I think it was Sainz was on the outside of Albon. So they've come drifting over, and then it's just gone 3 into 1, where they just hadn't had the track room.
They've just forced each other.
Oh yeah, everyone's just been forced around. I think it's how that was. And then after that, Vettel just continued to struggle. He just couldn't get his pace going or anything. He dropped 6 positions or so in the first lap. Dropped to 6, sorry. And he just couldn't get the tyres working or anything. But eventually, in the end, we saw that his rear suspension had failed and he did a little Lightning McQueen as he was driving down the circuit and had to retire. So not a good weekend for Ferrari in any spec. And then there was just strategy after that. Not a lot really going on. Had Hamilton leading, and Bottas obviously had to overtake him for the lead. Bit of controversy with Hamilton and his pit stops, where the team called him in, but he decided he knows best and he's not going to stop.
Oh,
yeah, just course. Hamilton doing Hamilton things. It was just your typical F1 race this weekend, where Grosjean was doing Grosjean things, Hamilton was doing some complaining things, and a Mercedes won the race.
Yep.
So yeah,
Standard.
I'd say Bottas won the race, Hamilton was second, Verstappen was third, and with Hamilton finishing second, that allowed him to clinch the driver's title.
Yep.
So that's his 6th driver's title. He's one off Michael Schumacher's record, and that's the 6th consecutive Mercedes championship in the drivers' sector in a row.
Congratulations.
Yeah, well, congratulations to Mercedes. 6 years of dominance. Can't say I want to see a 7th year, really. I'd quite like an entertaining year next year, but next year will be what it will be. So, yeah, that's all for the Austin Grand Prix. Now, Jared, if you want to take us on to some news you found, what have we got this time?
It's staying within the motorsport theme, but the news this week is that DTM, the German touring car series thing, has introduced the concept for a 1,000 horsepower all electric or an all hydrogen series. Meaning that it was like, which it says is like it's quite impressive considering that the DTM cars now that I think are V8s.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm not clued up on my DTM to be honest.
That put out 600 horsepower, and what they're planning on doing, and what you can sort of see in that
In the
concept picture, is they're planning on doing robotic pit stops.
Just imagine you go into the pits and one of your robots stops and you're like, well now we're screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see it being a good idea, robotic pit stops, but
I feel like there's so many different things that could go wrong.
oh yeah,
Unless they've accounted for everything.
no, but I just think the human error as well. I think is what makes racing as well. It's all the only thing that can go wrong is the race car, and then you've obviously got your pit stop, your pit crew. So like anyone drops a wheel or someone drops the car too early, that is your human error on obviously driver.
And the pit stops are very important.
Oh,
so.
it's probably one of the most important parts of the race. Your new tyres, your fuel, and everything. Well, not exactly going to get fuel this time, are you? If going all electric. But
Yeah, it's like he said that with this series, they're planning to run it alongside the normal DTM series for as long as they're able to run DTM for.
what's going on with DTM then? Are they taking it away or?
They're keeping it for now. It's just this is all just sort of a concept at the minute.
So if this takes off, they're planning on replacing DTM with this or something.
If this electric series takes off, they're going to run DTM alongside it.
Oh, so they're still keeping it alive.
As long as they're able to run DTM.
Oh, right,
see,
okay.
yeah.
So they're not actually going to fully replace DTM, it's just when DTM dies out, this is the thing to replace
that's
take
going to
over.
be the replacement.
Yeah, but it's another electric series. I'm not a fan of electric racing. Like I've tried to watch a Formula E race and I just get bored. I know they try and make it exciting and everything, but I'm not really a fan.
The whole trying to make it inciting with like driver boosts through social media and stuff.
I get the idea behind it. It's just no, I prefer it just being the team and the driver and no sort of outside
influence.
Influence. But be interesting to see how it does, and maybe you never know. These robotic pit stops might add a bit of drama to the racing, you know.
No, seeing robots.
You get the leader coming for a pit stop and robot malfunctions. You got to fix it quickly and
flips the car over, and smashes the windscreen.
He's down in P10 coming out of his smashed up car trying to finish.
Takes the wheels off, just drops it.
It'd be interesting to see. I don't think it'll be too amazing, but if we get some funny moments like that, I'll be quite entertained.
I'll definitely watch it because I want to see how a robot pit stop would work.
I think it'd be hilarious. Just imagine the compilation to come out with just robots just dropping the car too early or like just going too high in the air or something and
just flipping it over,
missing the wheel nuts entirely and trying to take the just trying to undo the wheel rim, and you're like, nah.
It just launches the car over the pit wall.
It's just had enough of this. See you later, bye.
I wonder if working correctly, how quick they can do it.
I think
would it be
pretty
faster than? Because
depends
the
if you
human,
have one for each wheel station.
Yeah, because at the minute, like human, they can do it fast. So.
Oh yeah, but there's a lot of people involved, and it's like it's got to be all in unison. If you could just have, say, 4 robots for each wheel station, quickly one arm to take the wheel off, one arm to undo the nuts, and one arm to put the thing on. could be quite a quick.
Yeah, now you said that, I'm just realising that how many people it takes to do the pit stop.
When you look at a Formula One pit stop, there's at least over 10 people.
Yeah, so to have a robot replicate every single... I know it's not Formula One, but to replicate all of them processes.
Yeah, it'll be quite interesting to see. But Jack, if you want to take us away with some new cars you found.
Yeah, so starting off, we have the new Toyota Yaris. So this is the new Yaris, and it pretty much has a wide body at this point, and it runs on their new GAB platform. And it's the first to use this, and it means it has the 1.5 litre inline-3 electrified powertrain. So this system means that the electric motor alone provides 79 brake horsepower and 103 extra pound-foot of torque. And according to their real-world test, the battery pack will allow you to basically 80% of the average journey will be able to be used on the electric, and you won't even have to bother using the combustion engine for that.
That's all right.
And they're also going to do just conventional powertrains as well, with a non-hybrid 1.5 litre and 1 litre inline-3. And they're also thinking, because we did an episode where we talked about other, like the sporty Yaris models, they're thinking of doing 2 different pokier sporty models of this. So they're to look out for. But they've also their like interpretation of the interior is to just have hands on the wheel, eyes on the road ethos, which means the interior is just minimalistic and just has everything you need but nothing more. And I really like it. I think it's just
very Japanese.
I like the blue undertone on it. I think that's pretty.
It's a very Japanese philosophy of just sort of, you've got everything there, it's practical, use it.
Yeah, it's just everyone has its use, and it's like everything looks like decent quality in it. Like, although there's not loads of technology, every bit that's there looks like it deserves to be there.
It looks quite nice. Like I say, the blue undertones on like the handles and in the footwells, it's quite nice. Got a nice little heads-up display or infotainment, whatever you want to call it, on there. I think the only thing I think they could have probably done was make the bottom of the steering wheel straight. You know how like some of them have like the sports steering wheels on like some Golfs and some Mercedes. I think that probably could have just finished it off, but all in all, I think it's a pretty decent interior for the Yaris. But
for the new hybrid,
what I don't get is how they're making their small car into a massive car now. It's like with all other car manufacturers.
Yes.
I don't get it. I mean, they're meant to be small cars, and they're probably going to come out to the size of nearly like Mercedes C-classes.
Yeah. And UK roads aren't getting any bigger.
I mean, try and go down a single country lane in that thing, and you meet a tractor, you are done.
Yeah. That's car parking spaces as well. They're not generous.
No. But all in all, the looks of it exterior-wise, it looks like one of the old Yaris's, but the back's been pushed down, and that's how it's added length to it, if you know what I mean. But
who knows? This could be like SUV size by the time we actually see it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it doesn't look terrible for a Yaris, but it's a Yaris at the end of the day. It wasn't going to be the prettiest car in the bunch, was it really?
So the next car I'm actually quite excited about, and this is the Copen GR. So Gazoo Racing has had they've overhauled completely the old Copen. So this is built by Toyota's subsidiary of Daihatsu. And I mean, the most obvious changes come in the front and rear bumpers. They're way more aggressive, and they also have the new front and rear LED cluster lights. On top of that, there's also forged BBS wheels and GR branded Recaro seats. And underneath, all the dampers have been retuned. There's a whole new underbody and the front strut braces. And you even get a limited slip differential if you choose the manual version.
So basically, we're having a race car for the road.
Yep. And this is surprising, though. It still has the K-Car 660cc and 62 brake horsepower engine.
Really?
Yeah, because I thought if they're going to do this, and I think at the minute it's only been released in Japan, but if they were doing it around the world, I thought they would have just given it something bigger. But obviously in Japan, if they want to keep it with the Copen roots and keep it as a K car,
they want to keep the tradition of it, really, then yeah, they've got to keep the engine. But it looks like all bark and no bite when you think about the powertrain of it and everything. But
as we know from the Cappuccino, I mean, if you can harness that small little engine and actually develop it well,
if it's a light, if you can make it a light car as well, then low horsepowers aren't too bad. So
no.
It could be, especially with the suspension as well. Cornering might be all right in it. So,
and I don't know if it has, but if it has forced induction, then that also adds.
It could be a little pocket rocket. At the end of the day.
And it's expected to be around 18,000, which is a lot less than I thought.
18,000.
Yeah.
That's pretty cheap, to be fair. So no,
a
I
new
think
sports car.
especially like a small 2-seater sports car.
And I like the look of it. It's aggressive and it's just.
It's an aggressive little pocket rocket.
Yep.
It's really what it is. I think the interior could probably do with a little bit of a spruce up, if anything.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit of colour to it, because it's just black and plain and what we've seen before with
And when
every
you-
other car.
When you look on the outside, it's almost like white and black, but there's a few little red touches. So if they did that in the interior,
Maybe some red stitching. Yeah. Maybe on the steering wheel, like some where it's got the silver bits, like maybe make them red or something. I don't know, but maybe some red undertones somewhere. Just make the interior just a little more lifelike. But
Yeah, but I mean, they don't have much room to work with it. And like the steering wheel, I think would be way more just aggressive and racy.
I think the exterior is beautiful. The interior must do better.
Yeah, it
on
needs
the report
improvement.
card.
But okay, next is a crazy car,
What
and
have we got
it's
this time?
the Darts Prom Bomb Black Stallion.
What the bloody
So
hell?
a bit of context: Darts, DARTZ, the builders of deeply lavished, over-the-top, hyper-luxury SUVs that most famously have included skin from a Wales gentleman sausage, and they make bulletproof car seats for your child. Yep.
Okay.
So
Is this an American company, by the way?
So this car is actually being made for a movie. I'm gonna guess it's American.
I was going to say, just the way everything looks, the way it's coming out with
Yeah.
all these crazy designs, it's got to be at least an American company making it.
Or Russian.
Yeah, Russian would be a good
Why
guess.
does that look like it's going to be in a Fast and Furious film?
It probably is.
It
Isn't
probably is.
They
made for
haven't
Fast and
released what
Furious.
movie they're making it for, but they have released it is for
Fast
a
and
movie.
Furious 9 then. You're going to see Hobbs just pull down in that thing.
Yeah.
Be like, look, don't worry. I've got your baby in the bulletproof car seat. It's all good.
They have said they want to make a on-road version of this, but they said they're going to build it onto a chassis of like Mercedes GLE or something, which I just don't think it would have the same stance, and there's no point.
No, I think they should just go from ground up and build it just themselves if they're going to do it. Because I think that's the only way they could have captured that, like this.
Yeah,
on
just
road.
the absolute just jaw-dropping
Like,
nature of it.
The massive size of the thing.
Yeah, well, the interior, so it uses alligator skin, stingray skin, and real wood to make its interior.
Also, Peter hates this
And-
car. Is what you're
Oh,
telling
yeah.
me as well.
The exterior is just loads of like stealthy angles made of carbon fiber and steel.
There's a skull in your filler cap.
Yep, and
Jeez.
so the skull is made of alligator skin, just to remind you when you're fueling up that your car is made of alligator skin.
A few animals had to die in the making of this car.
But it's just crazy. I think that's all that can be said about it. It's
That is,
just mental.
That is literally just a movie prop at the end of the day when you
Yeah.
look at it. But I quite like one. I quite
Yeah,
like to drive
I'll
around in
take
one.
one.
Just imagine driving around town and people see you in that, like someone cuts you off and you think, I can run you over. It will not worry me.
My
at
not
all."
afraid
alligator
to.
skin says so.
Sitting inside of the alligator of stingrays.
Yeah, it's like, I can run you over. It will not trouble me one bit.
At least your child will be safe when you get into a shooting.
Yeah.
Bulletproof seat.
Sorry, we're not America here. We don't get in shootings.
Air
Just-
rifles then.
Just general like disagreements as we're driving down the road. Couple
Few fingers.
few
Few
fingers.
fingers. Oh right, if you've got the bulletproof seat, just throw the seat.
I bet it'll be a hard seat to catch.
Just throw it at the car in front of you.
Just love it.
Just lob it down.
Who wants to go first on car debate today?
Oh, why not? I'll start. Yeah, I'll start. Why not?
So what have we got today?
Right, we've got some old mid-engine supercars. When I say old, they're talking about 2010 to
Yeah.
about 2013. So not
Not
old, but
When you think about how far they've come, it almost seems
Oh, yeah.
like they're old, doesn't it? Like,
yeah. So I've brought to the table the Ferrari 458 Italia, a personal favourite of mine. I quite like
yeah.
this specific Ferrari. It's got a 4.5 litre V8 naturally aspirated, pushing 562 brake horsepower and 398 pounds-feet of torque. A top speed of 210 miles per hour from a 7-speed dual clutch.
Yeah.
0 to 60 in 3.4 seconds. If you was going to buy one of these brand new, it would cost you 240k. Selling price for these now, depreciated a little bit to 180k.
Mm-hmm.
Bells and whistles on it. You got an e-diff-free electronic differential. Compact lightweight gearbox, because it was all to do with the Ferrari motorsport team also involved with the building
Oh,
of this
making
car.
it, yeah.
4-corner ceramic self-ventilated brake discs, racing seats, leather interior, multifunctional steering wheel, which is common on most Ferraris, aircon, alloy wheels, and digital speedometer. So yeah, not a lot of toys really, but you're buying a Ferrari at the end of the day. That's all you need to know. I mean,
it looks great. The interior is good.
It's just one of my personal favourites. Just the looks of it, not even just the spec. The looks of this car is just
sleek and nice.
Out of all the Ferraris they've ever made, the exterior on this is
Lovely.
my personal favourite.
So I have got an interesting car that some of you may not have heard of, but this is a car, like Connor said, like this is one of my favourites. It's been out there for a while, and this is the Noble M600.
Bit of British engineering here.
Yeah, so I'm going to start by mentioning, unlike the other two, the M600 was hand-built by a team of 20 workers at a company's Leicestershire facility. And so there's 3 different models. There's a fiberglass body, a carbon fibre body, and a Targa top version. And so it runs on a 4.4 litre Yamaha-built Volvo V8 engine with Garrett's Air Research twin turbochargers with variable boost control. And this allows the buyer to choose from the variable power outputs. You can either have the 450 horsepower road setting, the 550 horsepower track setting, or the 650 horsepower race setting. And that can all be changed on the dash with a switch. And that goes through a 6-speed manual gearbox.
Jeez.
And has red line at 7,000 RPM. So 0 to 60 is in 3 seconds exactly, and 0 to 120 in 8.9 seconds, and a top speed of 225 miles an hour. The interior has twin hide upholstery, gloss carbon fibre trim as standard, and the starting price of 206,000.
No, that is a British interior if I've ever seen one.
You can pick them up for about 178,000 now, but let's just not look at the interior.
When you get in that car, with how much of a side for when the doors are, do you have to try and get in the car in the shape of the seat?
I think so.
You sort of have to walk up to it and jump in and
You have to
slide.
stand sideways and you have to hop in sideways. What?
Yeah. No, but I mean, what can you expect? They don't have the budget and the,
no. But does that gear stick look like it came out of a Land Rover or something? With how high up it is. It's just
walked into a scrap bit. Oh, that'll do.
Right, boys, we need to get a gear lever. We're thinking small and compact. See that Defender over there? Get me that one now.
No, it's very does the job mentality.
It is.
And looking at the key there, it looks like a key from like a Ford Fiesta.
That is just your British engineering at its finest in that interior.
But the car goes. That's all that matters.
The specs on the car are brilliant. The exterior looks great as well, but
is that interior?
Could they have just got someone else in to do that interior?
Someone else to do it.
Maybe a Lamborghini or something to come in and be like, there you go.
Look at this.
So
but no, it's definitely impressive.
Yeah.
So,
Jared, what have we got?
What I've got is the McLaren MP4-12C.
The most complicated name in nearly all of motorsport history.
It is like, if you've ever done Java in school, figure out the name of that. It produces 592 horsepower from a 3.8 litre twin turbo V8. Puts out 443 foot-pound of torque. 7-speed dual clutch, flappy paddle, so automatic basically. 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds.
Wow.
0 to 100 in 6 seconds.
Oh,
that's McLaren engineering for you.
Yeah.
Top speed of 207 miles an hour though, so on the lower end. If anyone was in a budget for right now to want to buy one of these, you're looking at 70 to 80 grand.
I'll note that down. I do
70 to 80 grand for one of these?
Yeah, they have gone. They've gone down a lot.
How much were they brand new?
168,000 and a half.
Jesus Christ.
So if you think how long they've come out and how many McLarens have come out since, no wonder it's gone down.
So
I mean, I'd still buy one.
You're getting
some awesome power from
2.8 second 0 to 60.
I mean, you'd be gone.
It's like, well, if you're seeing the pictures on YouTube or whatever, you can see it's got a what you'd sort of expect everything that you'd want, like the
Just a
like the
McLaren interior.
monitor and all of that
That's a
stuff.
fighter pilot
It's-
cockpit, isn't it?
It's all on your side. The passengers are like, no, you got nothing.
No,
go
you
away."
got nothing.
They don't need anything. They're the passenger.
There's a lot of carbon as well, which I
Yeah.
actually
I
like.
that's
It
one
works.
thing
It
McLaren
work-
always do is a lot of carbon, and I
Yeah.
love it.
But it works well with how their cars look, though.
Yes, it is. It's their engineering style, and I think it's brilliant. I love it.
Yeah.
No, so can we get what sort of specs? Like anything else on it, or
Well, I think the speed is amazing.
yeah? To be fair, just the
Yeah.
speed of that alone is quite a staggering amount. Just I can't believe 2.8 seconds on a 0 to 60 speed. That's almost pushing like McLaren Senna type of speed.
So I want to start off by what should we go interiors first?
Interior first, do not even bring up the Noble. I'm sorry.
No.
As much as it's a quick car and it looks great outside,
It's
it's just dead on the interior.
and it's got like the fact that it's got the manual gearbox and like the handbrake is an actual handbrake, whereas the others are like just electronic, like integrated into everything. No, it's just a
No, I
Let's
don't.
get past
we're,
that.
We're gonna go away from that. Can we bring up the Ferrari interior,
yeah,
please?
of course.
Because I think it is just the same as every other Ferrari. That's my only thing.
The thing is, though, I think we have to bear in mind. You know, we always mention that Ferrari interiors look the same.
Yeah.
They all look the same as this. I'm pretty sure this was the first Ferrari
Was this
to
the very
have this
first Ferrari
dash.
to have this
So
dash?
they all have copied this one, but this was I think was the first to have this kind of style. So
Yeah. See, it's a nice interior. Don't get me wrong. Like the chrome running along it, it looks the place and it works. And obviously, you've got a big red star, but
yeah,
But I just like the way the McLaren
Yeah.
looks in the fighter pilot like style.
I think I'd have to
With
go
all-
the McLaren.
Yeah, so would I. With all the carbon fibre and just the way it's all set up, I think.
Just imagining sitting in that seat, like with everything surrounding you. Oh,
It'd be
It's
a
great.
madness. I think interior-wise, McLaren.
yeah.
Yeah.
Exterior, am I going to make a bold statement and just go Ferrari straight away?
I'm
I
gonna
don't
say
know.
McLaren.
You're saying Really?
I reckon it's nice.
It's not. Don't get me wrong. It's nice, but when you compare it to the Ferrari, it's the Ferrari. It's at
Yeah.
458 Italia.
I'm gonna stick to my guns. I either the Noble or the McLaren.
You
I
got,
just love
you got to
how
pick one.
raw the-
I'm not letting you pick two. Pick one.
Noble.
Noble. You're
Yeah,
saying
We're not gonna make a decision.
we're not gonna have to. We're not gonna agree with this one then.
This one's open ended.
Yeah,
This is a good one
definitely.
because we all are very good fans of the ones we have.
Yeah, I think that was quite good. Spec wise, I think
I've got top speed, I think, but Jared's definitely got 0 to 60.
yours 0 to 60 is just mind boggling.
Yeah,
What was your top speed again, Jack?
225
Jeez, 210.
with a manual gearbox.
207.
What was your brake horsepower? I just want to know if it was absurdly more than mine.
650.
650.
Yeah, for the biggest.
Jeez, you're nearly
option.
100 more than mine. I'm 562. What are you on, Jack?
592.
So I've got I'm paying for exterior. Really.
Yeah.
That's the gist I'm getting here. But I think I've got. Yeah, yours is obviously the cheapest, but I think is mine cheaper than yours?
Yeah, mine was extortionate. They came out at 206,000.
206,000.
Which how much was yours? Yours is.
Mine was 240 to start
But it's
with,
a
and now it's
Ferra-
180 now.
But it's a Ferrari, whereas this isn't a Ferrari. Like I don't think this is.
I don't
worth
get how they actually
206,000.
priced that at 206,000. I
No
do
way.
not know. For that interior as well.
No,
if they
it's
come
not
up to me
worth
and said
it.
brand new supercar, if they lifted the specs, you'd be like, oh yeah, this is amazing. Then you walk over and you see that interior. How could they charge that? Is just.
I mean, you can kind of expect it, but still, it's not 206. I think like 150 when it came out brand new is probably about right.
No, I'll give them a bit more than that, just because of the engineering and the specs you've got on it. Maybe
and it's
180.
like hand built, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe 180 to go with, but
no, not
not
206.
not north of 200. It's,
Yeah, because now they're about 180 if you want to pick one up.
but that's 180 if you want to pick one up. That's the same
Yeah.
price as a 458 Italia if you wanted to get
Yeah.
one.
But I do have to mention there's a lot of other specs. There's like full carbon exterior
Oh,
ones.
is there?
There are some nice ones out there. The picture we have is just the bog standard blue and black.
But I like that blue, to be fair. It's like a baby,
yeah.
baby light blue, and I quite like that. I think that's probably a nice colour. But the Ferrari's just in the standard Ferrari red. The Italia's just so sleek. And
It is very.
oh.
I do want to bring up maybe a topic that I might be able to win.
Go on.
Driving experience. The Noble's going to be raw.
He's got-
Manual gearbox, how fast it is like the hand built, it's gonna be a banging car to drive.
Probably, if it holds up,
It will hold up.
I don't know. Bit of British engineering in Leicester is. I don't want to say there's some dodgy people up there, but you never know.
Ferraris are beautiful cars, but
they're more of a showpiece. I will agree with that.
you have the Ferrari and the Lamborghini. Ferrari is just a beautiful car, and
that is just something that when you build in your garage, you put that like towards the back as like maybe just a centerpiece towards the base. It is a beautiful.
Don't get me wrong, it's fast and I'm sure it's great to drive, but
if you're going to buy a Ferrari, you're not going to buy probably a 458 Italia for the driving experience. If you're going to do that, you buy maybe a LaFerrari or
a 458 Speciale or something.
XXXK.
Yeah.
But just to have one of these to look at is just a glorious thing.
Should we go to the what would you buy tomorrow?
If I was going to buy one tomorrow,
I'd get the McLaren.
Is anyone confident to actually say what
Yep, I'll get the McLaren.
Cut me off before I even have to.
I know. I'm as much as I like the Noble, I'll go the McLaren.
Jared?
Yeah, I have to say McLaren as well.
Just due to I like the way the interior looks, and it's I'm also a big fan of McLarens. I'm P1 is obviously my favourite car, as you guys know. I'm a massive fan of the Senna and all other McLarens. Like I'm also going to know McLaren.
Yeah. Even the exterior as well. It's just the road presence.
It is the road presence of having a McLaren is one of the most beautiful things in life.
And it goes.
Is it the most beautiful things in life? Is like watching a sunset, your child being born, and then like a McLaren.
And a McLaren
P1 in your garage.
Is that not how it goes?
Yeah.
But I definitely. So I think clear winner here is going to probably be the McLaren. If we're all going to buy it tomorrow, and we can't not say it's the winner. So. Well done, McLaren. You have won us over again with another car. Just keep pumping them out. I mean, 600 LT. Anyone?
Let's not get started on that.
Just going down the
beautiful car.
Going down the McLaren route here. Just everything.
Next week we'll have a McLaren focus podcast.
I'll come in with McLaren t-shirts. McLaren.
Part of it's like 570 GT versus like 570C versus
Norris bucket hat.
No sport news is only McLaren. New cars, new McLaren.
See, this sounds like a great idea. I don't see the drawbacks on this at all. So, so tune in next week for the McLaren podcast.
Yeah.
We are changing our name. We are no longer Car Week Evo. It is the McLaren Fanboys podcast.
Yeah. Passionate, not fan.
Passionate, not fanboys. McLaren Passionate Podcast. There you go. The MPP.
Close to MP4.
No, but I think after our lovely little rant about McLaren, I think that's the good place to end it.
Yeah.
So thank you all for listening and for watching. If you're on YouTube, if you're watching on YouTube, please like the video, comment anything you would like to see, and subscribe to the channel. And if you're listening on whatever platform you're on, give us a rating. 5 stars is no less. We won't accept any more less, okay?
You'll get a free McLaren if you do 5 stars.
We've struck a deal. There you go. No, but give us a rating, subscribe to the podcast on whatever platform you're listening, and check out our Twitter and Instagram. It'll be in the description down below on the YouTube, and should be in the description on the podcast.
Regular posts.
Yeah, regular posts on there. It is at Carweekpodcast on Twitter and on Instagram, so easy to find us.
I hope to see you soon on that.
Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.